this having Casey officially as your assistant? What does that allow you to do? How does that help you?
Man, I tell you what. So since I got here, we played against each other. We were both centers, same time, and like we're from the same area. We're like step brothers that are working together every day. So it was fun as Fit came to me with the conversation to really help him continue in his career too, man. He's a hell of an O-line coach, and we have a lot of fun together. So it's kind of like a couple Boy Scouts just hanging out every day, figuring out what to do. And then we got Zach Heeman, who's kind of our partner in crime, learning the way. So 3 of us is fun.
Let's say, how are you guys, with the duties? Like, what is he assigned to during this preseason camp, and what will he be assigned to like during the season and whatnot?
Yeah, I think, and that's detail-wise, things are staying very similar. Where we'll tag team, we'll go right and left some days, left and right. We're coaching everything. I don't think there's like a split assignment. He's going to make sure, just like he did a year ago with that, I mean, the classes in recruiting have been pretty dang good, that he's going to oversee all the personnel. I like a lot of the scouting, a lot of that stuff. We'll tag team recruiting, and really it's a 2-man tag team that, I like to say, hey, we'll go jump in the ring with anybody other 2 O-line coaches. So my tag team partner.
Is this camp voice for Coach Blazek?
This is camp boys. Hey, I will tell you that yesterday, I don't know if we took advantage of a day to get better, and better now than practice 27 or something the first game week. But we responded back. They bounced back today, and we got a group that likes to work, and we challenged them a little bit, and that was probably vocally too.
What didn't you like yesterday? What did you see?
Just our body language. We had hands on hips a lot. We had guys that were, it plays halfway over, and we're not in full pads. We're not in shoulder pads. But it's, you're 5, 6, 7, 8 steps in, and it starts, the throttle comes off. You're just wiring yourself for bad habits. 2 days from now or tomorrow when we're in pads, you're going to be in a situation to compromise your health a little bit. So.
Losing Lake Nelson, how does that impact your depth?
Well, he is a guy that obviously I've known him a long time and know what he can do in game situations. He just gave us a lot of freedom to move some guys around. So really we got to dial in on our depth, and that's our goal, is to figure out who 7 and 8 are as we finish up as we get into these next 2 weeks.
How much does that affect someone like Kevin Haywood and his development early on?
Well, I think it's twofold. As you guys get to know Leighton over his time here, he's coaching already. He's going to be a coach someday. He's played tackle on both sides. He's played guard on both sides. He's jumped in and helped the Haywoods, the Coverleys, the Ryan Coreys, the Mandells, that group of guys. And he's close enough. I mean, he lived with Rip or Joe Brunner all summer. So those two are really close. They're same in age. You talk leadership of the future. His human nature, he's a people guy and he's a teacher. So he's done a great job teaching. But as far as challenges, my favorite 2 surprises are James Duran's bounce back from kind of where I thought he finished spring ball. And you see him getting more reps with the 2s right now. And then Barrett Nelson, guys, is a talented kid now. And him and his brother are 2 different bodies. So they're just brothers, that's it. I don't mean they're going to be the same guys or comparatively. But he's a twitched up, he's very smart. He's extremely likes to be physical, and he's about 300 pounds now. I mean, he's been over 285 since he's been here.
This is a unit that gave up about, I think, 23 sacks. What did you see on the tape, and what are you hoping to tackle as you get into fall camp?
Yeah, you say about 23. Yeah, usually about, it means it's 23. All right? I see a group we're just in the middle of the work. We haven't even picked our head up to say, hey, where are we at? What do we think? Put your head down and go right now. That's pass pro, that's run game, that's everything we're doing, from tempo to cadences to everything we're doing, it's work. And we're kind of in the the crucible of fall camp. We'll just put everything in, let it melt, and we're going to forge over that second week and get into the game week. But right now it's hot metal, and they're going to work every day.
You guys mentioned in the spring about your ability to really kind of tailor the coaching to individual people. How did you kind of learn how to do that over your years in coaching?
My dad and grandpa coached, and I don't know. I'm probably a better relationship guy than I am a scheme guru. And if you know what's important to kids, and it don't mean you're not pushing. There's times that like Jack and Rip are 2 of they're more of our horses, gonna be a little tougher to tame at times. You gotta grab you gotta hit them right between the eyes, and when they eyeball you, you're looking right back at them. And okay, all right, I got you, coach. And we chuckle as it running off. But I think if you can coach the best players really hard, it's not hard. Everybody knows you're in it for their interests, not degrading, or I'm not calling the same guy out every day when the older guys are doing the same stuff.
What has stood out to you? I know it's early, but with Brunner so far, and just between now and since spring.
I'm going to tell you, the shape him and Riley Mollman are in, the way they practice, the walkthroughs at night. I mean, it's full speed, it's definitive, it's precise. They went down to that masterminds this summer, and I just think you hear pros talk about how to train. Pros don't get a bang every day. And so they've learned how to keep crafting their game a little bit. And I've seen it show up here in the first 2 days. Whether it's the practice stuff or the walkthrough, the pre-practice or the indie, whatever that is, man, they are dialed in right now. And his energy and effort, he, like I said, he's kind of he runs hot now. He's a dragster. He ain't a long distance racer, and he's dialed in pretty good right now at an even keel.
Who all went to that masterminds from?
I think, who do we have? We had Riley, Huber, and Brunner this year. Jack's been before. Renfro's been before. Or no, sorry, it was Renfro. Riley. Brunner didn't go this year. We covered it a lot when they came back. It was Renfro, Huber, and Malman. And I think running around with those guys, he heard a lot of the stuff. They took a lot of notes. We came back and did digest it a little bit of what their feedback was.
Say early impressions of some of the true freshmen that didn't come in, the non-Haywood or
Yeah. So the 3 guys that got here this summer, I think, and I tie in there, Evan Brown is a walk-on that joined us in the spring. And it will be a cool story a couple of years from now. He was a student that we didn't have room for in the fall. They just had his name on a list. We were short numbers, and hey, you want to? Yeah, I'd love to come out. His parents knew Coach Haynes' wife and that was the connection. He's a Florida kid. So how do you find a walk-on at Wisconsin from Florida? That's how it's relationships again. And so Evan Brown's doing a great job athletically, but really the 3 young bucks that have come in, Emerson, from a size standpoint, is ready to get in there. It's just football IQ. And he's a smart kid now, but he's coming from a triple option, 4-point, never pass set. So there's a lot of fundamental stuff. And then while you're learning that, you're going against Pius and Lowry and all Turbo and all the guys that we have on the edge. It'll take a little bit of learning curve from that end, but man, he's progressing quick. Ryan Corey is as tough as we thought. There's a reason he was one of the top defensive players in Pittsburgh. He just takes rep after rep after rep. Okay, I might get real loud and get it. Got you, coach. All right. I mean, it's very similar to Malman in that way. And then Derek Jensen is going to be, when I say developmental, he is a heavy-handed, physical, violent kid that is still thinking a lot. Comes from a good program in Arrowhead, so he knows everything. He can pick it up fast, but going to do it in a tempo of things, just finding the right spots to get him in there.
Colin was here obviously in the spring. I think he's more of a tackle than
He's that Coverly?
Coverly, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. But just can you talk about giving him a look at guard and what you kind of...
Yeah. He's a guy that, again, really smart kid, big and strong, working on his hips and fluidity and athleticism. But the big thing with him is he knows all 5. So kind of like Leighton played 4, we force-fed Coverly at center this winter, just never knowing what his future's going to hold. We like Ryan Corey there. But he's a center guard in the long haul. He played tackle this spring because he played in high school. And when I said, hey, you want to jump right, jumps out there and does it without panicking. So those are the guys that play. Anytime it could slow down, and for most of them, it's wherever they played in high school is the slowest right now.
When that top 5 group is not set per se, but that those guys have the most experience and you're leaning on them, is there anything you can do in training camp to make sure they get to week 1 healthy, or is it just kind of like trust that they can do it?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we have numbers. So when we drill and we rep, we go into, you'll watch the first 20 minutes of practice. That's our most physical part of the day right now until we get into the padded team. But, today we'll work, our guards will play tackle. You saw that in the spring a little bit. Brunner slid out when Jack's hip got sore in the spring game. So we're working kind of our game rotations. That's how I spot maybe a rack or 2, but it's work right now for these 2 weeks. It's go. And because the system's still a year and a half in, the guys that are playing next to are still kind of new. It's work. I'm not worried about that right now. We got enough guys and enough people getting reps, and Luke schedules practice really well from a 1s, 2s, 3s standpoint. It's go time still right now. It's head down and go to work.